This presentation is about revising word choice. We can talk about revising word choice by paying attention to the following: inaccurate words, unclear or misleading words, unprofessional words, or non-standard words. So 6 common word choice problems are: 1, connotation, which you've probably heard before, in which there's an association that readers may attach to that word, and it may be negative or it may be positive. You've heard of jargon, where it's technical and only certain people would know what that means. Slang you've heard of, in which terms are informal or more appropriate for oral communication. Some of these you may not have heard of, such as subcategorization. And this is when you use an object with the verb and that verb typically does not have an object, or when you miss an object and usually that verb needs one. So that's called subcategorization. Selectional restriction is when only certain types of nouns can serve as a verb's subject or object. In other words, these verbs and nouns don't go together and they're being misused. Lastly, you've heard of these confusing word pairs, where the word is misused maybe because they sound similar, or they're misused because they're just commonly misused. This is where you might want to consult Chicago Chapter 5, Paragraph 250, which is actually more than a paragraph. It's a series of misused words and about how to use them correctly. Connotation. When you look at this sentence, which word do you think has a connotation that probably should not be here? Well, the problem is the word peril. It doesn't have horrible connotations, but it's sort of strange in this context. Peril usually has to deal with humans being at risk in some way, and it doesn't quite go together here, so one way would just be change it to something like risk. In this one, what do you sense is the jargon? Blands, right? Most people would know what that means, but it helps in a professional context to just go ahead and define it, and one way to do so would be to spell it out and then provide the abbreviation. In this sentence, what can you sense is the slang or idiom? Noise on the line. Not horrible, most people would know what that is, but at the same point we want to try to be as consistently professional as we can in most of our writing, so interference might be more precise. Okay, subcategorization. This one is that one where the verb usually requires an object and it's not there, or it doesn't require an object but somebody put one. So look at this sentence. What do you think is the subcategorization issue? Purchase. Usually purchase requires an object. Purchase X, purchase Y, purchase Z. But here it's probably being used as a kind of slang way to talk, but it should be purchase something, so maybe this product. Selectional restriction is when a verb and a noun usually don't go together. So they should purchase, but this would be a way of trying to not have that subcategorization. But purchase an idea. Now that makes sense in a lot of contexts, but it is also a bit slang, idiomatic, and so it makes more sense to find something that you could actually purchase, like the product. And you're familiar with confusing word pairs. Can you spot the one here? Which word is being misused? Maybe you caught it. It was the wrong to, so we need the appropriate to. So check Chicago 250 in the Chapter 5 to see more examples. So these are the 6 common word choice problems: connotation, jargon, slang. Subcategorization, again, is when an object needs to be with the verb and it's missing, or it has an object and it doesn't really go there. And selectional restriction is when certain nouns and verbs don't go together. And then confusing word pairs are those commonly misused words such as to and to, or affect, effect. So that's how you revise word choice.